get the puppies organized. Okay, let's go that. Alright. That. Okay. Alright, are we good now? Are we live? Are we live on all? Okay. Woo! Here we go. I think we're live. Alright, let me roll this down a little bit so that it doesn't drown out my voice. Alright, people. Okay. Are we live? Is it gonna work? Are we clicking? I think we're clicking. Alright, people. Okay. No more horsing around. Let's get this thing going. Yeah, pressing the wrong buttons, and here we are. Okay. Alright, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another stream. I thank you guys for being here. This is GVS, where I like to give my own opinion, and I like to just try to cover all things sports and talk about it. One thing that we have coming out of the NFL world right now is we have the divisional round that we need to get ready for. And so what I thought that this stream could be, I didn't want this stream to be too long, but if it needs to be a long stream, I'm fine with that. I was trying to, hey, we can get this stream done in 10 minutes, and I can tell you, who my Super Bowl prediction is. It's like, yeah, give me the Rams, give me the Bills, give me the Patriots, something like that. I can make this a quick 5-minute stream. We can call it a day and start gaming. But I thought what I'd do is I'd kind of give a reaction to how these playoffs have gone so far and where I think it could go. And so essentially what this is this is a reaction to what we saw this past weekend in the wild card, from the Rams beating the Panthers in the first game to the Steelers and the Texans in the last game on Monday. So if you guys are enjoying the stream or you like the stuff, be sure to hit that like button or that sub button. I appreciate it. It helps a lot with this channel. So let's get into the stream now, shall we? And also, if you guys, here's another thing too. If y'all want to not only, leaving a like and stuff, if you guys have a hot take that you want me to cover, like one of your hot takes is, hey, I think Caleb Williams is going to be the next best quarterback in the NFC North for the next 5 years. Let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll try to respond to it as people are starting to flood in. I thank you guys for being here. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the playoffs. Give a hot take. No hot take is too hot. And then also, I put in the polls because I want to know y'all's reaction. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Is it going to be the NFC side or the AFC side? Right now, I'm leaning NFC side. I'm leaning NFC finds a way, because you look at just the history of the Super Bowl. The last AFC team that won it was the Chiefs. They're not in it. But then before the Chiefs, the last AFC team to win it was Patriots. And, but that was Patriots with Tom Brady. We are no longer in that era. We are in the Drake May era of the NFL. All right, people. Thank y'all for being here. But again, yeah, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Let's get into it. Let me know your thoughts in the polls and give a hot take in the comment section. All right. So, first game that I wanted to talk about. Another thing too is I was very inaccurate on my predictions. I will admit that. I predicted the Eagles to win. I predicted the Packers to win. I thought the Steelers would win. I thought the Chargers would win. I was incorrect. So I got one game right, 2 games right, and that's it. To me, I think there was something to do with the stat. When you look at the stat, that the Bears have not beaten the Packers since the Sunday after Pearl Harbor. And I'm not laughing to be inappropriate. I'm laughing to be the fact of how long it has been since the Bears have beaten the Packers in the playoffs. Like, that's a very long time. And I don't know, personally, as a Packers fan, I should know this, like, off the top of my head, like, hell yeah, history all time. We've met the Bears 17 or 18 times in the play. I don't know. Okay, I don't know that stat off the top of my head. But the fact that with how long it has been and how you just throw out a fun okay, I use the term fun loosely, but you throw out an interesting stat like that where, yeah, no, it's been a hell of a long time. To me, it's like, okay, let's not overreact too much. The Packers have been the seventh seed before in the playoffs, whether it was with Rodgers, whether it was with Love. Sorry, I'm a little tongue twister, and they have won these games. And so foolishly, I chose my Packers, and boy howdy, how did they repay me? By blowing a 11-point lead. I think 2-possession lead with 6 minutes to go. And it looks even worse the more you look at it okay, yeah, they had that huge lead in the fourth quarter. We knew Jordan Love had his 4-touchdown game, but when you look at it, the score was still out of reach going into the fourth quarter. But, when you take your final possessions, capitalize, score touchdowns, and then stop the Packers, and then luck out on a Packers missed field goal, yeah, you're going to have the greatest comeback in Bears postseason history with the Iceman himself, Caleb Williams. So I will admit I was a little foolish for picking the Packers to win. But so the Bears move on. They're going to go play the Rams. I think the other thing, too, that I want to say is with the whole playoff format and the way it's scheduled and regulated, there's parts of me where I'm like, you know what? Why does it not go like hockey? You know what I mean? And I think that has to do with the underdog teams. Like, you're the underdog. You're the injury-riddled 49ers. You're not supposed to beat the Eagles. And maybe that's what, like, shakes up the bracket in some certain aspects, which is why the Bills are playing. But, like, there's parts of me where I don't know. I look at it like I look at hockey, or I look at it like you look at the March Madness bracket, and it's like, why can't the winner of this team go play this team, and the winner of these two teams go play each other? Like, why do we have to reseed after every single round? Now, I think it favors some matchups, because there's parts of me where it's like, yeah, it favors the Rams, where, okay, you just got past the Panthers in a nail biter, we won't send you to the 1 seed. But, like, think about the 49ers. It's like, okay, great, you beat the Eagles, but then you know what your reward is? Go play the 1 seed. I don't know. I think there's talks they might redo the seeding a little bit later, but who knows? We will see. But Panthers and Rams, I gave my opinion on that. I think that game was a good game, but there were some moments in that game where I was like, "Ooh, okay, what are we doing here?" But Stafford, to hear the interviews later in like the post game stuff where Devontae Adams was talking about how he's like, "Okay, let's go break these guys' hearts," and then they went on that game-winning drive. To me, that is stuff that championship teams are made of, and we'll see the clips. Excuse me. Once it's all said and done, and the Super Bowl has been awarded to whichever team, but to me, like that kind of mentality and mindset of like executing the plays, executing the final drives, like there's parts of me where it's like I don't know if the Seahawks have that when they play the Niners, or I don't know if that's how the Patriots are going to play when they play the Texans, or the Bills against the Broncos. You see what I mean? But again, like maybe that's the language on a lot of sidelines during every single game. But and then the 49ers versus the Eagles, I am hella impressed with how that game turned out. I will admit, I picked the Eagles. I said, and you can go watch the stream, honest to goodness, I said, look, you shut down Christian McCaffrey and have to leave it up to George Kittle to try to carry this team, carry this offense. It's not happening. They're not going to win. And, well, wouldn't you know, the Eagles defense could not keep Christian McCaffrey at bay because, I mean, I will give huge credit to other receivers that stepped up in that game. But then I think what turned that game and flipped it was the what why can't I think of that? Trick play. Thank you. That's the word that I'm looking for. The trick play. The throw from Jennings to McCaffrey again, which now he has the record for non-quarterback touchdowns in a postseason. But I think, yeah, there were parts of this game where it's like, okay, this is slipping away. The 49ers need to find a way. And I would put this, I'm not discrediting the 49ers, because if anything, what the 49ers have shown us is like this is the most resilient team in football. But what they showed us, not only with the resilience, is, oh my gosh, the Eagles had that game on a silver platter, and they choked it away. So I would say this, the Eagles and the Packers losses are more choke jobs than, because I mean, you're the Eagles. We've seen the scouting report and injury list that looks like a grocery receipt of how many players are missing time right now for the 49ers, and especially on the defense, where the 49ers are almost as injured as the Detroit Lions were in last year's playoffs, and they couldn't get it done. They had the ball at the end, and I don't know if it went to play calling. I don't know if just the 49ers defense is that legit. I know they're pesky, and I know they're resilient because, my gosh, they're still playing. But yeah, that I'm pretty shocked that the Eagles lost. But it goes to the fact of how resilient the 49ers are. And I still stand by what I said, where the winner of this game, I made it a hot button. And the prediction that I had is the winner of this team plays the Rams in the NFC Championship. And I'm still sticking with that. Because again, when I did this original prediction, I don't think I reseeded, and so like when they won, I just moved it to the next spot. So I had the Rams beating the Panthers and then beating the Seahawks, and I had them meeting the Eagles down here in the NFC Championship, and I still stand by that the winner of this game is going to the NFC Championship and playing the Rams. So then now when we look and we predict, because we need to predict, and because that's why you guys are here, which thanks for being here. Be sure to hit that like button. What's up? Yeah, no, Brock Purdy, dude, Brock Purdy's playing amazing right now. Brock Purdy is playing some of the best football that we have seen right now out of all the quarterbacks in the, be sure to let me know too in the polls which side is winning, the AFC or the NFC side. Out of all the quarterbacks in the postseason, I think, I'd have to look at just stats alone, because opinion-wise, the best quarterback in the postseason right now, it's got to be Purdy. It's got to be Purdy. But you could argue it's also either Josh Allen or Stafford. I don't know, because, I mean, it's not Stroud. Stroud had his own personal hang-ups in the Steeler game. I would give it to Caleb Williams, but the reason why, but the if where it's like, but is Caleb Williams and the Bears, and to no fault of their own, but like they have not played a full football game yet. They have not played a full 60 minutes, and if you have watched the amount of comebacks that they've had, you would totally get it that they'll play either phenomenal in the first half and disappear in the second half, or they just kind of hang around, kick a field goal, keep it, under at least 25 or something. But again, like what they did on Sunday was absolutely historic. But like they keep it close enough where, okay, when we get to the fourth quarter, now we got to, turn into the cardiac Bears and, pull off massive wins. So, oh gosh, I lost but best quarterback, I'd be torn between, but Stafford had a damn good game against the Panthers though. The defense gave up a lot. Okay, it'd be between Purdy or Stafford. Yeah, Purdy or Stafford for best QB. I think Josh Allen had a good game, but not like, okay, Because if you throw Josh Allen as the best quarterback so far in the playoffs, I mean, if we're going to count mental toughness too, because it looked like he almost freaking tore his ACL in the first quarter, okay, then yeah, you could throw him on that list. But like statistically, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think the stakes were a little higher with the 49ers and the Eagles game, which to me was what was a little bit more impressive. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think everybody expected the Bills to win, and it would say more on the Bills if they lost to the Jags, but nobody was picking the Eagles to lose. Nobody was. But again, I could be wrong. All right, let's keep it rolling, shall we? Let's keep it rolling. Okay. Now, okay. So now we get here. Hold on, let me take a little swig break real quick. Okay. So then after all this yapping and talking and reviewing the games, let's get to the Bear. Which one do I want to do? Yeah, let's do Bears. Let's do Bears Rams first. I think. I think there's more pressure on the Bears to win this game, truthfully. And there's parts of me, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I'm just gonna say it, where there could be so much, not distraction, but there could be so much the highs of oh hey, we beat our rival, that the execution of focusing and locking back in and getting ready for another game, because the Bears haven't been in this position. Caleb Williams hasn't been in this position. When Ben Johnson was in this position, he was with the Lions. But like the position of, okay, we won a game, let's reload, let's get back and ready to it. There's parts of me that feel like the Bears beating the Packers was their Super Bowl. And in the manner of how they did, where they had the huge comeback, where maybe that just drained the team, and that's where you guys peaked. Because a lot of people during the Steelers and Texans game, that was kind of something that everybody talked about, where like the Steelers just kept giving chance after chance after chance to the offense. In this game, in the Ravens game, in the final two games of the Steelers season to get them to the postseason, where it just hit a breaking point, and like the Steelers just ran out of gas. And so with that, I think Rams defense isn't as beat up as the Packers is. So that's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is I don't think the Rams, the only blown lead that they've given up is the one against the Eagles back in September. And I think they have made some, well, also the ones against the Seahawks. But I think they have definitely made some adjustments to the point where a historic collapse probably is not going to happen. Because there's, in the history of the playoffs and just as a whole, we have seen more collapses from the Packers than we have the Rams. And so that's why I'd be like, yeah, okay. The chances of it happening twice in a row, I'm a little, And I think with just how the Rams are built as a team versus the Packers, I don't think the Rams defense would be a team that, oh, hey, we are up right now 28-10 on the Bears, and there's 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You know what, guys? We had a damn good game. It was a good run. Let's roll over right now, and let's let them beat us out here in OT. I don't think the Rams would do that. And so with that being said, I think the Rams win this game. Okay? I'm a homer for the Rams. And from just the games that I've watched of the Rams this season, I felt this way about the Bucs as well. The Rams are a pretty complete team, and I've seen them play terrible games like the Falcons game, this close game against the Panthers. I've seen him play the Bucks. I've seen him blow a lead against the Eagles. Like, I've seen all the highs and the highs and the lows of the Rams, where there's just parts of me that, knowing the history of the Bears too, because of being a Packers fan, and just all the games that the Bears have had this season, that's the point that is going to try to, that's the point I'm trying to make that will finalize my decision on picking the Rams in this one, because I don't think the Bears are just magically going to blow out the Rams. There have been a lot of games this season with the Bears where the offense is lackluster, and it doesn't turn into a game till there's, you look at the clock, 10 minutes left in the ball game. The first 40 minutes is kind of a whoa, what's going on here? But then it turns fun and it turns enjoyable. And so with this also being Williams' second start in the postseason, more pressure, home team, divisional team, as divisional round, never been there before. Stafford and the Rams have. Stafford and the Rams were also one drive away from beating the Eagles too. Everybody thinks, okay, the Eagles steamrolled everybody in the postseason last year, which they did. You go look back and you watch. Yes, Saquon had a day against the Rams, but after the game settled down, the Rams got back into it, and they were marching. And I don't think they would have beat the Eagles, but they could have. And so, considering Stafford and a lot of the players on that roster have had deep postseason runs, they've had wins on the, well, now one, everybody's granted one because they beat the Panthers, but the experience of playing on the road in the playoffs, like, I think that goes a long way. And I think Stafford right now is an MVP, and he's having an MVP season, so I expect him to do some MVP shit in Chicago. So that's why I have the Rams moving on. All right, now with the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks, this game is right now, well, not right now, like, this is how I felt. I think the Seahawks are going one and done. And I think the reason why will be due to quarterback play. I have watched, and many of you have probably watched as well, I have watched Sam Darnold, and I have watched him this season have really good games, and I can't help but to think back to last season where he was with the Vikings, same trajectory, almost the number one seed, won a lot of games, very successful season, and then we get to the postseason and whoops, we ran into Verse, we ran into Fisk, we ran into that team that had the most takeaways, because, fun fact too, don't forget this stat, the Texans have the most takeaways too. And I mean, I think by the end they evened it out with the Steelers, but there was one point where they were -3 on takeaways, and it's like, oh my gosh. But you look and you see how last season was for the Rams when they led all takeaways, and then they played the Vikings in the wild card. It had to be the wild card. Yeah, it was probably the wild card. Darnold just didn't look like himself, and that game was over. I think it was over at halftime, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, I think that's how out of reach the score was. But anyways, with all that being said, one thing that I do know is, just from recent memory, because a lot of people have been making cool videos and edits on it, the last time the 49ers and the Seahawks got together, it was, it was with Cap and Wilson and like the Legion of Boom. So this is their first time. Like, I'm not going to overlook that either. Like, this is also Seattle's first playoff game at home since, the Legion of Boom era days. Maybe it's the nostalgia talking. I don't think this defense is the same as the Legion of Boom, because the Legion of Boom is the Legion of Boom. If this Seahawks defense was just as good as the Legion of Boom, people would be talking about it more. People would be just like, we would cover it just as much, because You know which defense is getting covered more than the Seahawks defense? The Texans defense. Like, we would be talking about Seattle's defense as much as we're talking about Houston's. And there would be this difference maker, and like a lot of people would dictate their predictions on the games of, hey, because of this one X factor, which is Seattle's defense, that's how they're going to win this game. Nobody, at least from what I've seen, nobody's talked about that. But then when people talk about the Texans trying to win the AFC South, beating the Steelers, what did everybody talk about? Oh, Rodgers isn't going to get it done against the Texans defense because they have been the best all season. And the Steelers O-line, and well, they turned out to be right in some ways more than not. But I think, but with that being said, these two teams have gotten together before. Not McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey had, I think Kittle had a touchdown, but then he was injured, and I think McCaffrey had a touchdown. And then Purdy, I think this is when Purdy got hurt too, or maybe Purdy got hurt in like week 3 or something, and then that's when Mac Jones came on board. But when these two teams have played, it has been a close game. And I think, again, the history of them meeting in the playoffs, the times that they played each other in the regular season, I see no difference. Like, I don't think this is going to be an absolute blowout. Like, I think this game will be close. Like, I think the playmakers who need to make plays for Seattle, I think they will. Like, I think Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's going to have his breakout playoff debut. And I think he's probably going to have, he's probably going to have that one touchdown that just gets a huge pop from the crowd that gets everybody going. But other than that, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of, like, the way I feel about Sam Darnold is kind of the way we feel about Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, where I have not seen, like, I have seen more playoff success from Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, Mahomes. Like, I have seen more playoff success from these guys than I have with Darnold. And so that's why I'm a little skeptical on, even if Seattle has home field advantage, if he can't get it going and the offense can't move the ball, even against the 5th and 6th string practice squad that the 49ers have put together, it's going to be another low-scoring, brutal game like it was in Philadelphia for the 49ers and Eagles. And just the Niners are just going to steal their lunch money, and it's going to be a long day for Seahawks fans. And so I think I think more than defense versus defense, I think if Seattle's going to win this game, Darnold needs to have a career game. It's as simple as that. Because, if he doesn't get the ball going, Purdy's going to find a way. Because, I mean, look at McCaffrey. Like how I said with the Eagles and the 49ers game, if you stop McCaffrey, this game's locked up. Well, McCaffrey had an awesome, tremendous game. He had two through the air, I think. And then the huge over the shoulder pass from Jennings. So, I mean, if there's parts of me that think Shanahan is going to break out all the stops for this one, and I mean, there's just parts of me that think the 49ers have picked up some momentum, and if I'm going to compare it to, a caboose, a train, once this thing gets rolling, like, I think it's going to be hard for the Seahawks to stop the 49ers. And the other thing, too, is with how injury-riddled this defense is and has been, when these two teams played each other the last time, 2 or 3 weeks ago, when they wore their rivalry jerseys, I mean, I even made a prediction that night. The 49ers could have won that game. Yes, Purdy had a game-sealing interception. I think the score was like 13-3, 13-7. Like, it was a low-scoring game, but the 49ers had a chance to win that. And if McCaffrey didn't bobble the football and tip it up for an interception, 49ers are scoring that drive and taking the lead and winning the game. Like, you're telling me Seahawks only scored 13 points against? So I'm looking at that and I'm going, Hmm. Yep, I've seen this before. I've seen this before where 49ers are going to figure it out and they're going to walk out of here with a win. But I mean, if we, for the sake of, sorry, let me get a swig. I've been talking a long time. For the sake of talking and revenge and the Seahawks getting revenge, this would be the perfect game to do it because not only the history that they've had together, but 2 seasons ago they got together and had, yeah, wasn't it? It was Gino. It was Gino and Pete Carroll's last year together, I think. And no, like they were the seventh seed. They're the seventh seed. They won their last few games to get in, and nobody picked them. 49ers ended up rolling them, and then that was the year where they, they were on their third string quarterback by the second quarter when they played the Eagles in the NFC Championship. But all that to be said, I think the Rams and the 49ers are going to meet up in the NFC Championship game. And so now let's switch over and let's talk about the AFC side. Also, too, y'all, give me some hot takes in the comments, too. If you guys got a hot take, let me look at the chat. I see we're 100% on the AFC winning the Super Bowl. That might be. Now, who from the AFC wins it? I don't know. If I were to guess, which AFC team wins the Super Bowl, it's going to be the winner of this. I think the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. Okay, there. Woo. Cat's out of the bag. Oh, cat's out of the bag. I said it. Winner of this goes to the Super Bowl. All right, let's talk about the. Okay, so we have this one set up. We got these guys ready to go. Here, let me move this down a little bit. I think, yeah, Rams would then be the home team because their seating is better. Yes. No. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, never mind. Yeah. Rams would be the home team, which the Rams have been the home team before in the playoffs in the NFC Championship as well, and they ended up winning that. That was the year they won the Super Bowl. Okay, let's continue. Okay. You know what? Let's do this one first. I think. Well, actually, first off, let's check. Are we good on music? Do we need any? Okay, we're good. We got a couple more minutes. Okay. I think. So, what impressed the hell out of me with the Texans, not only with just how. I mean, dude, yeah, that Steeler game was rough. Something that impressed me is as much of a defensive battle as that game was in the first quarter. Because the other thing too is the pick six and the fumble rooski from Rodgers, like spotting them the 14 points. Those were 14 points in the fourth quarter in garbage time. The only offensive touchdown I think they had the one to Kirk in the first quarter that made it 10-3, but then I don't think they scored again until the third quarter, and I think it was their opening drive, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I've been talking about it. I think the offense needs to complement the defense, and one thing with how this game went and with how this game went, it's going to be no different in Foxborough when these two teams play. I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest because you need to have, if you want to blow out a team, because I'm trying to look, no team actually blew out the other team. All these games were close, except for the Patriots-Chargers one. If you want to blow out a team, your offense needs to complement your defense or vice versa. And to kind of nobody's shock, Well, not to my shock, because I wasn't too shocked. Sorry, my freaking stupid hair strain itching my face. But I was shocked that the Steelers got 3 turnovers off of Stroud in the first half. Like that is not what, like, did not expect that. Them not capitalizing, that did shock me. But what I'm trying to say here is the Patriots defense with what they did to Herbert, I don't think it's going to be any different. Like I think the Patriots defense is going to get after Stroud, and if Stroud is careless with the football and this thing gets ugly like how it does, I don't think the Patriots are going to let the Texans just hang around like how the Steelers did. But the other thing too is, in that same breath, the Patriots did have a good game. Like Henry had his touchdown, and I think there was like a fourth quarter touchdown by. Let me double check. Let's pull it up here. Hey, anybody want to watch the Nuggets in Dallas? Right now it's 54-69. If anybody cares about that. Okay, NFL. Let's look at the NFL playoffs. Let's look at the scores. I think there was a garbage time touchdown in the Patriots game. I could be wrong. Oh, no. No, it was 16-3. Okay, never mind. Because the thing that I was saying was, I think so it was 3 touchdowns. No, 3 field goals and a touchdown. I think that Texans defense is going to get after Drake May. I really do. And the history of the Texans team, they have never made it to a championship game. They've only gotten to the divisional. And when you look at the history of who they have ran into in the divisional, I think Tennessee was one. It's either Tennessee or the Bills. We know they played the Chiefs last year. And so there's parts of me where you want to look at history like that. It's like, okay, no, Texans are losing. The Patriots are going to win. They're going to move on. I'm really thinking that there's parts of me that are thinking, okay, maybe this year could be a little different. Because I'm being honest, the Chargers had the Patriots right where they wanted them. And with how the score is, I don't think the score indicates how close that game really was, because Patriots offense couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything. The Chargers defense was getting after it. Like, it was 0-0 after the first quarter. Going into the second, like, it was within reach, but because of Herbert and because, I mean, you can make million of excuses. Lots of people were talking about the offensive line because they'd pull up the memes of the graphics on Pro Football Focus. This is, what Mekhi Becton's ranking is. This is what everybody else is like. It's like 68 out of 69, 72 out of 73. Like you can make all the memes you want about how the Chargers offensive line sucks. But I think with how, well, with just how, terrible the Chargers offense was. I mean, in the same thing, like Patriots offense wasn't much better because their defense was keeping them at bay, and they had a shot at this game, just like the Steelers game. Offense could not turn around and produce points off of it or try to get back in the game. And maybe that has to do also with Harbaugh's play calling. I don't know. But now, when you look at it, Herbert is 0-3 in the playoffs. He still stays as if man and hypothetical boy and all that, because people have made memes about Burrow, Lamar, and Herbert too. So, now with all that being said, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Which defense do I think is going to be better and play better? There's parts of me that I'd lean towards the Patriots with the home crowd and it being really raucous. I cannot tell you how bad I want to pick the Texans in this game. I just can't. I can't come to it. No, there was something like Danielle Hunter, Anderson, like they were just freaking getting after it the other game. I think the same thing will happen. There's probably going to be a walk-off field goal or something in this game. I could see this game. I don't think this game would just get out of hand ugly there at the last second, kind of how the Steelers game did, where, you know, you have a pick six and a fumble, Ruski scoop and score. I think it would be more of a, this goes 3-3, 7-10, 13-13, and then when we're in the fourth quarter, which defense breaks first? I don't know. Well, I wouldn't necessarily care which defense breaks first. It would probably turn into which offense can convert on third down and keep the drive alive, because that's another stat that not a lot of people have talked about. But you go look at third and fourth down conversions in that Steeler game. Dude, Steelers were like 1 for 18 or something. Like, it was bad. All of the third downs the Steelers had in that Monday night game, they're behind the chains. It would be 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9. Like, it was rough. It was bad. All right, let me go fix this over here real quick. Hey, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the polls, guys. We're talking football, which in fact we might be a little rough over here. How many people we got here? Oh, we got a couple. Hey guys, thanks for being here. But anyways, with that being said, it'd be historic. And it'd be really like awesome to, I don't know, like if the Steelers won, there's parts of me that think the Steelers move on and they, you know, Steelers get to the AFC. Like I'm not convinced with the performance I saw out of Drake May that Drake May can beat the Texans defense. And then at the same time, I'm not convinced that CJ Stroud can beat the Patriots. But I don't know. I'm gonna roll with the Patriots. Because I don't know. I'm not trusting that CJ Stroud can. Maybe he could. Either way, it's a walk-off field. You know what? Hell, here we go. For the sake of the stream, let's do this. Okay. I know. Scandalous. I picked the Texans. I don't know. There's parts of me that just think if that defense can do what the Chargers defense was doing to May and just slowing down that offense. Again, Stroud played pretty bad, like how Caleb Williams has played bad at the start of the game, but then he turns it on in the fourth quarter and, you know, he's more of a second half player. Maybe we might have a little luck that way, and maybe we could see, you know, for the first time in franchise history, the team gets to the AFC Championship, and because it's their first time in the AFC Championship, look at that, their first time in the AFC Championship, they're the home team, and what do you mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is they'd be the first, you know, their first time to the championship game as the home team would be because the Bills knock off the 1 seed. Okay. So there's my spoiler alert for how, but no, well, I don't like it. I don't like it. No, I know better. I know better. That one's going to eat at me. Sorry, Texans fans. That one's going to eat at me for a while. All right. Okay. All right, let's get back to business, okay? Oh, I'm glad I'm not muted. That would have been embarrassing. All right, here we go. Let's talk about this divisional round. Considering that the Bills and the Broncos played each other last year in the postseason, I think it's really hard to gauge the Broncos' performance will be the same because I feel like the turnover of the team, it's a whole different team. There have been additional key pieces that they brought in the offseason. We've seen the trajectory of both teams in the regular season and with how they have played this year. And so I think it's going to be a different game than what it was like all those years ago. No, not years, but months ago. I think this... I would say it's probably a little tougher playing in Arrowhead. I'm not going to doubt Josh. Okay, I'm picking the Bills. But I'm trying to articulate why I'm picking the Bills. But then would both number one seeds... Nope. Yep, both number one seeds have gone out. Why? Because the Packers and the Titans both got knocked out. Yep. Okay, never mind. I feel a little bit more confident in that prediction. Because the year that the Rams and the Rams and the Bengals, when they went to the playoffs, the Packers were the one seed. They lost to the 49ers, and the Titans were the one seed, and they lost to the Bengals. And again, you get those huge playoff wins, and you build a little momentum. That's why I'm thinking, hey, the 49ers could be a legit team and the real deal. Because, I mean, we saw it with the Bengals. We saw it with Washington last year. We saw it with who's a team in the 2024 bracket who made a little bit of a run? The Chiefs. Funny enough, because they beat the Bills. They beat the Bills on the road. Missed kick. They beat the Ravens. So, all right. Anyways, I think. I'd say Arrowhead's probably a little bit tougher than Mile High. But this game ultimately is going to come down to Josh Allen and if he can play through lingering injuries or be Superman when he needs to be Superman. I think when you look at one-score games for the Broncos, last I checked, I think their record was 8-1 in one-score games. I think this game will be close. I'm very... I don't know. There's parts of me where, and like we saw with the Eagles and the Chiefs, is when you play close games and like you're a fraud team, you're going to get exposed. And there's parts of me that a lot of people are talking about how, oh my gosh, the Broncos are frauds. They're going to get exposed. They're the worst. The fun thing about them, like even throwing out, they're the worst number one seed in the history of the NFL. It's like, no, they're not. Like there have been far worse one seeds. Did y'all forget I just mentioned the Titans? Nobody remembers the Titans were the one seed a handful of years ago because that's how like impactful the Bengals win was because like it was so impactful everybody forgot. Anybody remember who the quarterback was or the running back of the Titans or who the head coach? Nobody remembers. Titans fans do, but I mean when we fast forward here a couple of years and stuff and the Broncos and the Patriots are still fighting for the one seed, or maybe the Jags come around and they're fighting for the one seed. Like, we'll still remember, hey, remember that year the Broncos and the Patriots were the one seed? We won't forget it and be like, oh, yeah, 3 years, 4 years from now, yeah, I forgot that time the Broncos were the one seed. Like, I don't think that's going to be the same thing. Anyways, there have been games kind of like how I feel about the Texans or, in a ways, the Chargers and the Seahawks, where you look just with the week 17 matchup, last game of the season, whether the Chargers had second stringers in or not, we're heading into the fourth quarter, and the Chargers have held the Broncos to 13 points on offense. Chargers are within scoring, like, hey, we score a touchdown, we're back in this game, and we only need, like, I think a field goal to take the lead. So it was only, I think it was like 3-13 or 7-13. Justin Herbert was not playing. He sat the final game, and the Broncos couldn't blow out the Chargers. And their starters were still in. This was a home game. Them and the Patriots were battling for, okay, who's going to bend and break first so we can get the 1 seed. And the Chargers defense was able to hold not only Drake May, we found later in the wild card, we fast forward. Not only were the Chargers able to hold Drake May to limited points, like I said, we're heading into the fourth quarter, and the Broncos aren't just steamrolling them and pulling away. And to me, when we watch some of these games and how they are one possession, I think that is a little concerning. And there's parts of me that think, if this turns into a one possession game, with how many playoff exits that Josh Allen has had and the amount of heartbreak of losing to the Chiefs, whether it was overtime or with 13 seconds left in the effing ball game, there's something that makes me think, okay, this is where Josh Allen goes absolute animal mode, and he has about, a minute 40 to try to march down the field at the very end of the game because Bo Nix just threw a hell of a pass over the middle of Franklin or something. Franklin has a touchdown. Oh my gosh, Broncos are going to win this thing. We got a date with destiny. We're going to go play the Patriots or something. But then Josh Allen turns into Josh Allen, and not so fast, my friend. So yeah, I think playoff experience is a huge thing, and Bo Nix doesn't have as much playoff success and playoff experience under his belt as Josh Allen, Cook, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, Shakir, or you even hop over to the defensive side. It's just, I think it's inexperience versus experience, and there's parts of me that we can't overlook the experience part. We can, and I know a lot of people want to. I can't convince myself to overlook that, and it's the same reason why I'm not overlooking the Rams to get past the Bears, or overlooking an injury-riddled 49ers, because it's like the 49ers have been in this position before. The 49ers have had deep playoff runs, injured or not injured. The home or the away team, like Brock Purdy and just the core of who the 49ers are, have played. Like, they have been in this position before, just like the Bills. And so that's why I'm... And the other thing, too, is, objectively speaking, too, I think with how close this game, too, I think it gets the Bills just a little bit more ready than the Broncos are, with the Broncos just sitting at home not doing anything. But I still think the 1 seeds should be rewarded with sitting, which in fact, I wouldn't put it out of the equation too, that the 1 and the 2 seed should both sit out. But I don't know, you'd have to add something somewhere to add another, because I don't know, there's parts of me that think if you're the 1 seed or the 2 seed, you should deserve to sit instead of, I don't know, but I think how many teams, if we have, because I know that they used to sit, both the 1 and the 2 seeds used to sit and just wait there in the divisional, but if we go by this format, does it add a team or do we take away a team? Either way, whatever. I'm rambling too much, but let's move on. Anyways, I'm picking the Bills, and I've been saying this all season, and especially when the Chiefs got eliminated, that, you know what, if the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, now more than ever they need to, because all the teams that have eliminated the Bills in the postseason, they're not there anymore, and so there's no more excuses. Like, as many times as we've written excuses for the 49ers, guess what the 49ers have done? They've still kept winning. And we can't, I mean, well, we'll see the excuses if the Bills lose this game to the Broncos. We'll see what they say. But even if the Broncos lose, like, I don't think the Broncos are frauds though, because again, whoever wins this game, I think, is going to the Super Bowl. So let me now move this up here, because I think the Bills are getting to the Super Bowl. Now, who do they play? Well, it's funny you ask. I think now out of the 49er and the Rams game. Okay, now first let's get to the Bills and the Patriots game. I don't know. I really, by this point, I don't know how the Bills would get past the Patriots, because I mean, the other thing too is the Patriots defense is, I mean, no. The Bills defense, we have seen the Bills defense struggle this year. And so, like, if the Bills defense struggle against the Patriots are the home team, AFC chair. You know, we've seen this song and dance before with the old Patriots dynasty, which that'd be a crusher. That would be, like, considering that they get past the Jags, they get past the 1 seed, and then they lose to the, like, dude, that'd stink. And then Josh Allen would. I already think Josh Allen is the modern day Aaron Rodgers, considering his playoff success. But all right. Now, out of the Rams and the 49ers, I'm picking the Rams. Now, to this point, a lot of people will talk about this. Okay, I've made this prediction before, and this has been my prediction overall. But there's something to be said where you count how many players that the 49ers are missing. There will come a point where it does matter that Bosa isn't playing. Fred Warner's not playing. Ayuk's not playing. Like, it will matter. And to me, I think that, I mean, the only injury-riddled team that I have seen win a Super Bowl was the Eagles all those years ago, when they beat the Patriots. And that was like the ultimate underdog story, where, you know the story. Wentz gets injured against the Rams. Nick Foles comes in, helps get them to the playoffs, and then they just go on that magical run. I can't say the same happens for the 49ers. I really don't. And especially, maybe you could talk me into it if Kittle wasn't injured. If Kittle wasn't injured and Fred Warner came back, because there's parts of me, I don't know if Fred Warner can come back for this Seattle game. Now, if he did, now we're talking. But, like, with the huge blow that Kittle was as well, I mean, is Pearsall back yet? No. Is Ayuk back? No. Like, there are so many, and again, like, I even made a meme, if you want to go check out some of my shorts, that Jalen Hurts couldn't beat the 49ers practice squad. Like, there's just parts of me that, unless the Rams have an absolute terrible day and their offense can't do anything, which I don't think that would not happen, because Puka, phenomenal. Adams, phenomenal. Corum, Williams, Stafford, like, all of them, it's a pretty good offense. If we're looking at any problems, it's more on the defensive side of the ball. But to me, I think, let me hold that thought. Let me get a swig real quick. Whew. Sorry, I feel my mouth getting dry. But with the point I was trying to make. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Let it come back. Hold on. I can't remember. Um, no, I can't. Yep. It was there. It was on the tip of my tongue. I was talking about the Rams and all their players on the offense, defense being more of a problem. Oh, okay. But I think that how long is this fun Cinderella going to last for the 49ers? Because, I mean, we looked at what the Lions were last season. They ran into Washington and they weren't ready because of how depleted that defense was. And so I think, I think, it just, the 49ers. Oh, that's what I was saying. When we get to this point in the season, the most important thing is your defense clicking and playing good, and are you a healthy team? And right now, 49ers are not a healthy team. Now, every team is beat up and they've got their bruises and stuff, but out of all the remaining 8 teams left that are about to play this weekend, which one has the most? The 49ers. Because after they beat Philadelphia, all social media pages posted, okay, these are the 4 or 5 guys that are missing on offense. Here are the 10 guys that are missing on defense. Like, here are all the inactives, the injury, the holdouts. Like, not the same with the Bills, not the same with the Broncos. Not like, so I think, there's parts of me where if you want to stop how good the Rams offense is, you need Bosa, you need Warner, you need everybody. So, but then again, now that I say that and I jinxed them, whoops, my bad. So then we get to Super Bowl 60. I don't know. Like, there's parts of me where it's like, you know what? The Bills, they've been to 4 straight Super Bowls. They didn't win any of them with Kelly. It could be one of those, this team is cursed. They'll never win. And if they never won then, they'll never win now. I don't know. Like, because Josh Allen's never been to a Super Bowl. Stafford has. Stafford has won a Super Bowl. If people were questioning or wondering about Stafford's retirement, I would think if Stafford wins the Super Bowl to end his career, he rides off in the sunset and retire. Because a lot of people are talking about, is age a factor for him? Funny how age isn't a factor for him, but it is for Rodgers. But again, Stafford might be a little bit more mobile. I don't know. There's probably something a little poetic of if Stafford did it. Because again, when he was on the the Lions for all those years, nobody thought he would win a Super Bowl. But then he came to the Rams and he won a Super Bowl. Like, it'd be kind of like, dude, look at your career. But then you go to the Rams and you win 2. You finish a legend like Kurt Warner, Nick Foles. Who else was... Favre... I don't remember how long Favre was on the Falcons before he went to the Packers. But was Steve Young on a different team and they went to the 49ers and won a couple? Peyton Manning. Well, but Manning won one with the Colts and then he won one with the Broncos. But you see what I'm trying to mean here, where like your career at one place wasn't. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't. It was the Lions. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, okay, you go to the Rams. When you retire, you're a 2-time Super Bowl champ. So I don't know. But that'll be it. Okay, we're going to do a hard out on the short side because, boy, howdy, it was